It's been about a month since I've been in here, mainly just because I haven't wanted to face the reality of how buggered my car is. But if I don't do it, it's just going to sit here and will forever be a garage ornament. So we're going to crack on today, strip it down, get it ready for head gasket. Right, so I've just got the car up on axle stands, and I just I'm going to get my little borescope camera down there, because I'm not actually sure if this head gasket is gone. Like normally you get the telltale signs, the MILKSHAKE, that. I mean, yes, the radiator water is filthy, but it doesn't feel oily. So I'm going to drain the oil as well. And because I'm not convinced that we've got to strip it all down, so we shall see. I'm going to stick the camera just in the filler, bring you in closer, zoom more. Let's see what that looks like, because I'm wondering if I jumped the gun with my diagnosis about it being head gasket. In which case, I'll be very annoyed with myself, because obviously I made the diagnosis. But I'll also be very relieved, because it means that I don't have to take the engine apart. And no one likes doing that, let's be realistic. That camera, not a bad little kit. You got a quit from Centre Aisle of Lidl. Or the other one, I can't remember which. But yeah, 30 quid. Not bad. Right, so I'm going to drain the oil, and then I'm going to chuck a new filter on there anyway, because that was been on since 2022. I believe we got this car fired up. So it's been on a few years, and I've also got a new thermostat and thermostat housing, just to try and help with the running stupidly hot. I know these engines run hot anyway, but I figured can't help, can't hurt. Right, so I'm just underneath the car now, and I'm getting dripped on. Anyway, it's just water, we think. I don't think that, if you can see that oil, I don't think the gasket's gone. I wonder where I found all that MILKSHAKE in the oil filler then. But there's absolutely nothing in that that would suggest that the head gasket has gone. Anyway, I'm going to drain the oil. I'm going to put a new filter on it. I'm going to swap out the thermostat, because I've got a new one of those, and I've got a new thermostat because housing, all in aid of keeping it cool again, to try and keep it cool. I think this car's fine. My head's a bit through though, because the radiator's still leaking. There is a couple of issues. I do need to sort out the trans oil cooler. I'm going to plug it into the radiator, because I don't think that's doing anything there. I don't know if my lines are going to be long enough though. I might have to invest in some new lines to get them from there to there. But I'm going to get rid of this doohickey that I fabricated. Well, I say doohickey, it's a bit of a bar that I welded to the strut tower. Because this keeps failing anyway, this relay. I don't know why. But whenever I go in a handheld, it's failing. Oh! I do need to take the intake off. I've just remembered the vacuum leak we had that was causing it to rev wildly and thingy. There's a port under there that's completely exposed. So, yes, I do have to take the intake manifold off. I've forgotten about that, but yeah, I need to get that capped off. Oh, that's going to be a bit of a ball ache. Because if I remember rightly, these bolts were a pain in the proverbial to get in and out. Probably could tidy up once I'm in there as well. Right, we'll do the oil first and come back to that. Right, got to get this little bugger of a hose off now. I think it might just be easier if I just take the thermostat off. 2 bolts, whip the whole thing off, bucket underneath, job done. Rather than try and mess around. So we'll do that. Right, what we're saying, 10 mil. Where's your bits? 10 mil. But then get in this little thing. Little tiny ratchety. One thermostat. Right. That was more effort than it was worth, probably. So what we got in this one is, what does it tell you? There's a buggered O-ring, I know that much. 82 degrees, you see that? I think the one I've got, 76. Even better. Hopefully this little Chinesian thing works. Only the finest Chinesian quality in this garage. Because annoyingly, the one that came on the car is just a solid housing. It doesn't, the thermostat doesn't come out of it, which is a bit annoying, because I was led to believe that they do, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe it does. If anyone wants to tell me, say, oh no, you're doing it wrong, there's a little grub nut or grub key or something that you can unscrew and the whole thing comes out. Doesn't feel very secure in that housing. Could be doing it wrong. That, to me, doesn't feel very quite secure. Well, that plan failed. I find this little Chinese part is not compatible. So I'm putting the old one back on. Fortunately, the thermostat hadn't actually failed. I was just trying to put a lower temperature one on there. Kind of glad about that, because the two-piece housing wasn't filling me with much confidence. So I'll put it all back together with the old one. I might put a new O-ring in it though, and rip the intake manifold off. It's never a dull day, is it? Don't have one big enough. It's not going right well today. I think this car's punishing me because I've been neglecting it for the past month. Yeah, the biggest I've got sits inside it. This is not in the best condition. It does have a big lump chunk taken out of it. And annoyingly, I wonder if the little Chinese one came with one. Whether that'll work. That looks too small as well. Let's have a look. That's the same size as the small ones I've got. So I'm reusing that one with a bit of gasket paste. Yeah, this car's definitely punishing me. Right, so that's the original thermostat back on. That exercise was completely pointless. Intake manifold then. Looking forward to this bit. Not even slightly. Right, where are we going to start? We'll start unplugging the injectors. I know I've got the cold switch on there, but I better just disconnect the battery just in case. Let me do that before I forget anything else. Just a sec, I'll pause the off. Bring the spanner in. Alright, all those out of the way now. That was part of the alternator bracket. We'll forget that. We'll ignore that. And that. Right, I'm thinking could disconnect it from that end. And then that end. What's that one? That's that one. I wonder if that's why my TPS wasn't reading properly. Because I've got that new coolant bypass in the way now. Possibly. Eyelet. It's kind of snapped off. Anyway, we'll come back to that one when eventually. Right, so I've got a towel in place for the fuel leak, because there will be one, and I'm just going to disconnect, I think, this one. I can't actually remember how these fittings go. Off, get that fuel line out of the way. I'll leave that towel there and grab another rag for this side. Do I need it? Yes. Can I get that off without that? No, it'll at least sit out of the way. Okay, that's that off. Probably going to be some fuel spillage when we come to set the manifold off. Right, can I still get to that bolt? Yes. Right. So plug the injector wires. Ooh, fiddly little things. In the way of the I don't know whether you can see this, right? You see what I'm seeing? Well, they've put the bracket in an L, perfect shape, but you can't get that off without taking that off. Sometimes people just, oh, you're looking at the bonnet, look. Take these out. One by one. Which is really annoying. Oh god, they're stiff. Oh Christ. This is going to be an interesting one. That is just spinning in the thingy. Right. It's got bloody wires everywhere now. It means I can get to this injectors. Come on. Right. And then Allen bolts out. And just like that, it'll close out. As simple as that. No. Right, so I've got my injector harness out of the way. Next one. Come on. What's catching on that now? Let's have a look. Earth. There's an earth strap underneath it. ton of them. So if I can get not gonna get in on here. I'm gonna need a skinny socket. Right, so let me show you what I've had to do because I don't have the right with one hand. So I've had to step it down once to get onto the extension bar, then step it down another time to get it onto my tiny little socket, because that's the only socket that fits on this bolt combination. It is an absolute pain because, I mean, it still works, it's just a pain. So I'm hoping that if I do this in reverse to the tightening sequence, and then that's the right way to take it off. Can't imagine why it wouldn't be, but we shall find out. So that's 10. Yeah, none of these are tight actually, which probably wasn't helping the idling. He's definitely talking properly next time. When this goes back together. That is 5. 5 is... 5 is that one. Alright, let's get this intake light off. There we go. Get them wires out of the way. And there you can see the port. That's all we've done this for. That right there. Oh, and there's the gap for it. There we go, and that would have been damn near impossible to do with it on the car. But I'm going to get this out of the way now. I'm just going to have a tidy up of this bit. So here's the original cool crossover. That left in place. Washer there, we don't need that. Let's make sure that's out of the way. Right. And then we can get in. Hey, I've just had a thought. Now I'm back here and I can get to it. I could get a bolt in this bell housing, couldn't I? Right then, let's try this again, shall we, with the gearbox bolt. There we go. Maybe not. Right, so I can't do that because there's not enough room to actually get the bolt in there as it's attached. And I realised how I did it before was we put this and the gearbox in as one unit from the top. So I'm going to pretend I haven't found this bolt, put it back on a shelf, out the way. Right, so the manifold is back on, ish. I haven't torqued any of the bolts down. We've got the throttle body to install. I've got to retorque it all down. And yeah, put everything back together and button it all back up. Right, so I've just had to nip out to tool station to get a torque wrench that will go down to 5 Newton meters because mine naturally started at 20. But for my first pass for the intake, which is probably why the intake was leaking as well, because we probably didn't torque it up properly because I've just gone by one. But it's a cute little 1/4 inch drive. Look how tiny that is. Yeah, right, let's get this manifold torque down then. So the first pass is to 44 inch-pounds, which is, by my conversion chart, 5 Newton meters. And of course, that was the longest 1/4 inch extension they had, which doesn't lift above the manifold, so and I don't have any 1/4 extensions. Fortunately, they did come in a pack of 3, but we'll see how that works. That's better. Hey, right, so I was just on my second pass. Come down here out the light. I'll rest my head. I was just on my second pass, and the head snapped off one of them. Bugger. Right. They're going to have to all come apart. I'm going to have to try and now there's one stuck in the head. It's just how I did that. God damn it. Standby caller. Right, so that's the exit manifold back off again. See if I can get this with a pair of grips. Right, unfortunately it's come out in one go. Right, I guess I need some new intake bolts now then. Right, I'll pick this up later.